Oh, now I got that fixed. You didn't hear me. We're going to be waiting for Miss Eunice to join us. She's getting all things set up on her side. But today we're going to talk about the annual review. I would think that you would want to have an annual review of your corporate credit profile at least several times a year, but you definitely want to do it at least once. But I would recommend it at least once a quarter. That way, once a quarter, you have a full understanding of what is there, what isn't there, and you can go from there. Give me 1 second. Turn our music down, our lounge music down. Hello, Eunice.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Tell me, are you freezing?
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold, but it's a beautiful day. But
No,
I'm
we're not
cold.
going. I was up early this morning. I went
Mhm.
out to 1 million cups, right? And
Mhm.
in between that, I had some wonderful conversations with some of my coaching clients, right?
Yeah.
And I have people who are in Florida, as
Oof.
well as I have a man in the UK. And then I just completed a call with a gentleman who is in upstate New York. And he told me they are expecting 3 feet of snow.
Wow. That's upstate New York.
That is upstate New York.
Yep. Yep.
So so we have a lot to be grateful for because although it is cold outside, it isn't a cold that is associated with snow. It's a cold that's just associated with cold.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that cold. I yesterday when I went out, I saw a car, and I guess wherever they were driving from, it must have snowed. And I was like, I'm so happy that we haven't had snow as yet, because that just means shoveling and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's cold, but it's not that cold. So,
But you want to know something? Can I be honest with you and just share?
hmm
You said there's snow and then there's shoveling associated with it. I don't
I don't like
recall
where
you
this is going. I don't like where this is going. Before you even finish,
No, no, no. I just wanted to make sure
you
that,
don't recall what?
I don't recall you ever coming outside for the most part to shovel. I know you will be there for moral support. You also would come outside with some hot chocolate or
Right.
something along those lines, but I don't remember your hand touching a shovel. And of course, I don't want your hands to touch a shovel, to be perfectly honest with you. That's why we have Jaden, but we also have the snowblower at the same time.
Yep. Well, the support is there. The support is there. That's all that matters, right?
Absolutely. So let's kick it off and let's say again, welcome to another wonderful winning Wednesday.
It's another beautiful day, another Wednesday in the books. And guess you know what? I looked at the calendar this morning and I said we have exactly 3 weeks before 2026.
Exactly 3 weeks.
Three
But
weeks.
I looked at the calendar just the other day and I also saw that we aren't yet in winter. Winter isn't
Yes,
going to kick off
officially.
until December 21st. And I didn't know. I thought it would have started on the date, but it's actually at a specific time of the
hmm
day when we transition into winter.
Yep. So it's not yet officially winter, though we are feeling the cold, and some places have already experienced snow. That's
Hmm.
just an introduction to winter.
An introduction to winter.
Yeah.
And today's topic is going to be around annual reviews,
Hmm.
right? Keeping your business credit profile healthy, right? As we have mentioned in prior conversations, a healthy credit profile is just one of many ways for the entrepreneur to have access to capital in those times of need. Last week, I came across a piece of news that basically said that there have been more layoffs over the last 4 months than I think it has been in a number of years, which means the majority of jobs in the United States are through small businesses, right? So if small businesses are laying off employees, that means that business and revenues may be declining at the same time. So what do? We're trying to make sure that business owners have a view into the future such that they can weather the storm, right? We want them to survive and thrive past year 5, right? And I have conversations with a number of business owners who aren't even familiar with how to go about creating their corporate credit profile. That's what we do, right? So, whether or not if you need to check your corporate credit profile or start your corporate credit profile, we got you covered. Just give us a call and we'll be able to help you with figuring that out.
Hmm.
So, what the difference is something that a lot of business owners may not know is that anyone can pull their corporate credit profile at any point in time, right? One of the things that we advise folks is that when it comes to your personal credit profile, you had to do nothing, right? When you came to the United States, Eunice, did you have to do anything to create a corporate credit well, a personal credit profile?
No, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to transact and it started. I didn't have to apply for it.
Did you ever wonder how that came to be that your credit profile just happened to be?
Not really. I think a lot of countries do have it. It may not be as used as it is over here, but we also have credit profiles. Um,
How does it work between the countries?
every country has its own way of doing things, but every country, as you transact or you open bank accounts, whatever it is that you do, your records are kept, and when you apply for credit, of course they use these records. I remember, of course, I haven't used my credit back home in ages, but back then, and things may have changed. Back then, I know even just trying to say buy furniture, right? You would have to have, if you wanted to do it on credit, you would have to make that application, and they'll tell you how your credit was. But it wasn't
Mm,
great in that it wasn't well maintained, and you
mm,
really didn't have a way of checking regularly where is my score at, how am I performing, is the information there even true. So things have
mm.
pretty much changed, but yeah.
No, I just while you were having that portion of the conversation, I learned that Experian is not currently in Africa, and that
Mhm.
in Africa there is TransUnion, and then there is CRB Africa. I never heard of CRB Africa, but the only reason why
I've never to.
I was bringing that up is because on your personal credit profile, you should always have it locked,
Yes.
right? And
That's what I had to learn.
I went into and I started off that portion of the discussion where I was saying that you had to do nothing in life to create your personal credit profile. Once you apply for credit, a file was immediately created for you. You didn't have to do anything. The bigger difference is that when you're working on the corporate credit side, you have to do everything. You have to go out and get your Dun and Bradstreet number. You have to work with vendors who are actually going to report your transactions with the corporate credit profile
Yeah.
companies. You have to be responsible and ensure that there is accuracy in the information that is on your corporate credit profile, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
What we do here at VIP Business Credit is we are experts in that particular space, and we recommend that at a minimum, you review your corporate credit profile at least once. But our recommendation, our strong recommendation, is that you review it at least once a quarter to make sure that it is up to snuff and there are no irregularities or errors being reported on your corporate credit profile. There's so much that
Okay.
you are in control of what you're doing there. But I
Mhm.
think that this is a pretty easy topic when you think about it. Um, what else do we have? What's the news? How are things looking in the real estate market?
I mean, speaking from Northern Virginia, it depends on the on your location. It's been ups and downs. I've had a listing in Centerville that took a long time on the market, and I've had clients of mine do transactions in Northern Virginia, Sterling, Round Hill, where transactions literally within a couple of days there were offers. So, as the nature of real estate, there's always, ups and downs, different types of markets. It just helps to have somebody work with you to help you navigate all those things.
Mm,
And I know you listen to the news a lot, and I know I heard you listening this earlier on. You were saying the Feds have reduced interest rates again,
correct.
and and I always tell. I had a conversation even yesterday with a potential client who was saying, "Oh, I'm excited that the rates are going to go down because the Feds are likely going to be reducing rates today."
Uh-huh.
And and while I'm not a lender, I try my best to educate myself with anything related to real estate so that I can best have conversations with my clients. And what I mentioned to them was that, you know, given, yes, the Feds are going to reduce the rate. And I said to her, one of the things that I would look at versus what the Feds would be the Treasury 10-year Treasury yield, because that's what drives mortgage rates. And I gave her an example to say, hey, the Feds reduced rates, what? Today is the third time. However, when
Mm,
you look at your mortgage rates over that period, have you really seen any significant changes? Not really,
mm.
because the 10-year treasury yield has been the same.
Well, there is a old concept that I heard. There's good and there's bad that comes with lower interest rates, right?
Hmm.
The good that comes along with lower interest rates is that that then feeds into the narrative of affordability,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if purchase price were static, right? And yes, a $300,000 house at a 5% interest rate has a different monthly payment than a $300,000 house at a 6% interest rate. So
Yeah.
that feeds into the affordability narrative,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we do know that purchase prices aren't stagnant.
Yeah.
So what happens now when interest rates go down, right? Demand is also going to increase. And
Yeah.
when then supply also is reduced, that gets you back into that situation of bidding wars. I think we were there probably in 21, 22 during the pandemic when everybody was looking to purchase a home and people were doing ridiculous things such as purchasing houses without inspections and no contingencies. We're not there right now, but if interest rates should go where they're going, then that's going to be a concern. So I would say
Mm-hmm.
there's a gentleman Brian who I used to know and follow. He used to always say, "You don't buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait. You don't wait to buy real estate."
That's right. And I mean, I think from a consumer's perspective also is that as the rates go down, there is more money. Well, let me put it this way. If right now your credit cards you were paying 17% and now it goes down, that means, the
Credit cards
money
don't
that
move.
that means, well, credit cards is a bad example. But what I
Yeah,
mean is certain things as they go down, they allow you to save a little bit more. So if you were paying, say, $200 and now your rate has gone down a little bit and you're able to now pay 190, that $10 means you have, an extra $10 that can be now allocated to something else. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, I think like what you just said, um, you buy real estate and just wait and see. You don't say, well, let's let all the numbers that I'm looking for go down, and then that's when I'll come into the picture. So
No. And I think a couple of months ago, what we did is we actually shared a graph, and I believe we went all the way back through to 1930,
yeah.
right? We went all the way back to 1930s, and what we shared there was that this is where real estate prices were then. And I think what the reason why we shared that story is because you had another client who had purchased their house, what was it, in the 1950s or was it in the 40s?
I think it was the 50s. The one in
Vienna.
Vienna. Yeah. I think it was in the 50s.
And that house was purchased for what, 51,000, 55,000,
Less than 200, yeah, somewhere there.
right? And when that house sold, because you worked with the daughter who was selling that property, right? I think it was what, 800,000.
Yes.
And once that property was fully renovated, how much did it sell for? 1.3,
Mm-hmm. Was it 1.3 or 1.1? 1 point. Yeah, I think it was 1.3. I don't
1.3.
remember how much they sold. Yeah. Which just shows you how with real estate, you can literally buy, sit, and hold. And by the time you exit, you have made considerable amount of money. The only challenge, of course, is that most of us, are not in a position to wait. And then when we also bring in just life as it is now, we all want everything happening now, and trying to, have a conversation with someone to say, well, buy now and then hold the property, stay there and see. That's just a conversation that many of us may not necessarily want to have. Most
Mm,
people say, I've actually met a couple of people who say, no, I want to buy the property today, but I want to buy it already with equity in it. You know, however, even though that's the case, they don't want to do no work in it or anything like that. They just want to own a home that they know already has equity. That says, I don't want to wait for it to have that. I want it now.
okay.
So,
How do you help them with that? Is that going to be like a bird type of strategy, or because turnkey, you're not going to be able to get that?
well, that's the challenge, that most people are looking for 10 key. And that's why I was saying to you, unfortunately, right now, in a world where everything has to happen now, it's very difficult to get things like that. It's very difficult to get a house that you're going to get today that is 10 key, that you're going to already have built in equity, unless, of course, you come in with, a high amount of down payment and things of that sort. But where you are basing everything off of appreciation, it's very difficult.
Mm.
So those conversations usually just, it's more of an education thing, whether somebody would be open to buying and holding and renovating and then renting, or whatever other strategies that most real estate investors may look at and use, so that they can put in the work and the effort so that they can then realize those equities.
Well, I think, similar to all of the other conversations that we have already had with this audience, we have shared with them things that they can do in order to keep their business thriving.
Yeah.
Right. And with that being said, this is just another example of things that they would be able to do in order to make sure that business not only survives and thrives, but past year 5. And
Yeah.
if you are a business owner, we're speaking directly to all of our business owners. If you are a business owner and you would like to have a credit checkup, I want you to do me a favor and scan that QR code that you see on the screen now. Because but scanning that QR code gets you is it gets you access to our calendar, where we will do two things for you. We will pull your Experian corporate credit report, and we will share with you 30 minutes as we review it with you, so that we can tell you exactly where things stand.
Hmm.
That's going to be the best $99 that you have spent in a very long time. Why don't you give your business a Christmas present and take us up on that offer?
Yep. As the year winds down, a lot of people I know, with the year winding down, are, closing off books, looking at what changes may need to be done, or where else they can um, save, where else they can put money into. This is $99 that you can put towards your business to try and see where you are at, so that as you get into 2026, you may have a better view of where you are and what needs to be done to get you to the next level.
Basically, you can create a plan.
Yeah,
Eliminate all of the I didn't knows. Those are difficult conversations when it comes to running a business. You are the CEO, you are the captain of the ship. This is just one way you can check the financial health of your business.
that's right.
So,
But
Eunice, we knocked out annual reviews. The next thing that I think we want to do is we want to have a conversation around um, underwriting, right? Interview with an underwriter, what really matters on your business application, right? Because one of the things that we have been doing here is really to have a conversation with business owners. Yes, business credit is definitely going to be paramount to what you're doing, but also to protect that business, you protect the business owner, and you do that with life insurance. But cash value life insurance also has access to collateral that can be used against in a loan with the bank. It's a never get denied type of loan because it's collateralized by the cash value of the life insurance. So let's have a conversation because some people may be saying, oh, I have high blood pressure, or I have this, that, or the other. Let's have
Yeah,
a conversation to help them understand that, yes, there may be some concerns, but you would probably be able to get them some kind of insurance that helps them to build up their private bank.
definitely. Definitely. So
That-
if you know anyone who has any health concerns that uh, may be interested in learning more or getting that insurance and helping their business or helping their families as well, but they're a little bit concerned about health concerns, that would be a good time to have them join us. That way they can learn and know that having health concerns does not mean that you cannot get any coverage whatsoever. There are different types of coverage, there are different types of policies out there, and everything is really customized to your needs and to where you are health wise as well. So,
all right, all right, all right.
all
Hey,
right.
we want to tell everyone continue to have a wonderful winning Wednesday. Wherever you are, stay warm. If you're in Florida, you're already warm, right?
Yeah,
We have to figure out how we can just spend our time. We have small children, so that's going to be very difficult for us with school and things of that sort. But we'll keep that on to the bucket list, right, my darling?
we will do.
All right, everyone, take care. Be well. We'll talk to you soon. If you have any questions to us, you have the QR codes in order to be able to schedule time on our calendars. Until next week, that's probably going to be the last one that we're doing for the year. We're going to dive into underwriting and what are some of the things that you need to be aware of as you are looking to establish your own private bank. Until then, have a good one.